In this video, we're going to work together on an end-to-end SQL data analytics project, and there are quite a few reasons why I think this video will be super useful to you. The first reason is that we're going to work with SQL, which is a tool that is in super high demand in the world of data analytics, and we're going to work with it with applications and environments that are actually used in real workplace, so that not only you can review your SQL skills, but also work in a same setting, exactly simulating what is happening in a real business scenario. The second reason is that we are going to work on a real business problem, and so we're going to use SQL not as the end goal as most people think about it, but only as a tool to actually find some insights and give recommendation to a real business, which is the actual role of a data analytics professional. We're going to go through all the different stages of this project together. I'm going to start with some basic SQL queries, but also go towards more advanced level, so that again you have the full spectrum of things that can be done in SQL. It's not going to be a clean tutorial. I might encounter errors and try to debug my code with you, so that you can get a full idea on how a data analytics professional thinks about solving issues while coding. And the other reason why I think this video is going to be pretty valuable is that not only we're going to work with SQL, but we're also going to test our domain knowledge skills so that we can use our technical skills to really provide value to a business. And by the way, this is very similar to some of the projects that I have done throughout my 8 years of experience in the field. I worked as a senior data analyst at Deloitte. I worked as a data analytics lead at AWS. And obviously the goal of this video is to bring you that knowledge to you. And by the way, this is a little spoiler of the stuff that we can do together in my Analytics and Automation Academy, which is a 6 weeks program where my goal is to teach you all the technical skills that you need to become a data analytics professional, but also teach you how to work with AI agents, which is a bit of a skills that is becoming more in demand in the industry. Give you also the domain knowledge that you need in the work, so that again you can increase your value as a candidate in the market. And my goal, if you join the academy, is to support you until you land a job offer. So in case you're interested, make sure to check out the link in video description and apply if you think you're a good fit. And now without further ado, let's get started with our SQL end-to-end project. Okay, so usual setup for our SQL projects. I pretty much use the same setup in all the videos that I make on SQL. So we are in Google BigQuery, which is, by the way, a platform that is used by real companies. And that is why I love it also, because there's no installation needed. You can access it from the browser, and is all free, so pretty easy to set up and start coding on with SQL. The data that we're going to use for this project is available to you in the video description. So obviously, if you download it, upload it into BigQuery and follow this project, obviously gonna be able to replicate the full project and then potentially add it to your data analytics portfolio. So that would be my suggestion. So what I've done now is I already uploaded the CSV file. Again, how you do this is super simple. You open your Google BigQuery. In this case, I have this folder called SQL Practice, and then I do create a table. And then in here, you can create a table from a upload. And in this case, you're going to select the file, the CSV file. You have to give the name of the table. And then in advanced options, you have to auto-detect the schema. And then let me see. So actually, let me do it just to show you one more time, even if I upload this already. So you're going to click here, auto detect schema, and then the header rows to skip. Here you will need to put 1, just because the first row would be our headers. So we just want to skip that. And then you're going to click on create table. And once this is done, I'm going to quit it just because I have it already. You should see your table here. And then if you do the 3 dots here and then query, this is what's happening. So it's opening a tab. Let me close the previous one. Is opening a tab where you have your query. So I'm just going to put the asterisks here and then run this query. And then as you can see here, this is our data that we're going to work on. So we have event ID, user ID. So this is like user events. We're going to actually work, in this case, with e-commerce type of data. And we are going to do actually like a sales funnel analysis. So the reason why this is very interesting is that this is connected to a real domain, like a real space where you can apply your data analytics skills. So we're going to work with SQL, but we are going to work in the sales domain and trying to think like a sales expert, like how to give recommendation as a sales expert to the sales team. And this is exactly how we use SQL as a way for us to find insights and then really give value to a business. And so if I go back to the data that I was checking before, we have event ID, user ID. event type. So we have like page view, add to cart. You can see some like e-commerce level information. Event date, we have the product ID, like probably the product that we are referring to in the e-commerce, the amount, and also the source for the traffic. So definitely spend some more time on your side in case you want to get more familiar with the data. I'm gonna get fast here and actually get started with our first analysis that we can do here. And actually the first thing that I can do here is to define our sales funnel and let's say the different stages of the funnel. So here I'm gonna start with a CT. So I'm gonna do a with and then funnel stages as, and then inside the brackets, I'm going to put our CT. So in here, I'm going to do a select statement. And then here, I want to count the user IDs that are going through the different stages. So how do we do this? I can do a count distinct. And then for the first stage of the channel, so, and here for the first stage of our funnel, I'm going to check page view because that would be the first stage that I found out by looking at the event type. So I'm going to do case when the event type is equal to, I'm actually going to take it from here, page view. Then I'm going to do user ID, which is going to be the thing that we count in this query. Whenever I do a case statement, I have to remember to put the end of the case statement in the same query. And then this one, I'm going to call it stage 1 and then views. And pretty much now, I'm going to do exactly the same thing for the other stages. So let me actually copy paste this one in here a few times. Okay. So we have page view. Then we have add to cart. So I'm going to add it here. I'm going to do stage 2 and I'm going to call this cart. Then we have the checkout start and I'm going to call this stage 3 checkout. Then we have payment info. This is going to be stage 4 and then here payment. And then we have the actual purchase and this is going to be stage 5 purchase. So we don't need the last one. So all of this will need to come from our table, which is this one that I have in here. So let me paste this one here. And also in this case, I want to focus our analysis on the last 30 days. So let me also add a bit of like a bit of a filter for the days that we are doing this analysis for. And thankfully, I have the event date that we can use in this case. So I can do event date, and this will be higher or equal. And here I'm going to do a date sub, and then open brackets. I'm going to take the current date, this one here. I don't need anything inside the brackets. So this one, and then comma, interval, 30 days. And I think I'm going to put everything here with a timestamp. So let me add 2 brackets here. So just to give an idea of what I've done here is basically saying, okay, take the current date and do only the last 30 days. That's the thing I'm doing this query. And then if I'm happy with this query, I'm going to do a select star from, and then I'm going to put the name of our city. So let me do this part here. Let me increase the size and let's see if this one will run. Well, actually, I didn't put any commas here, right? So let me add all the commas. Let's see if this one is running fine. The dates I missed the underscore here. Let's see if this one is running now. Yeah, and also put days. I think this is instead day. Let's see if this one is running. Okay, I think this one we got the result. So basically what I'm doing here is counting the user ID that are going through the different stages. So stage 1 view, we have more than 4,000 people here. Stage 2, 1,300, then 950. So you can see basically a bit of a funnel. So, you know, we are losing users as we go down the funnel, if that makes sense, which obviously, this is just a query for me to check, okay, we have a funnel, you know, starting broad and then shrinking as we go, you know, bottom of the funnel. So that makes sense. Now that we counted, let's say the users, we can actually find the conversion rates. So conversion rates through the funnel. And basically, I'm actually going to take the query that we had before, because the final stages, I can keep the same city that I had before. And here, instead of doing a select star, I can actually change things a little bit and be like, okay, I want to see stage 1 views, which was this column here. I can do stage 2 cart. And then for the conversion rate, I can simply do, again, stage 2 cart times 100 over the stage 1 views. And this would be, we can call it view to cart rate. And probably we can round this division here that we do. Okay. Then I'm going to put here, so we did the first conversion rate. Then I can put here maybe the stage 3 checkout. In here, I can copy paste what we had in here. And this time I'm going to do stage 3 checkout over stage 2 cart. And this will be cart to checkout rate. Then pretty much the same thing for stage 4. Again, pasting what we have here. And this time do stage 4 payment over stage 3 checkout. And this will be checkout to payment rate. Perfect. Then we can do stage 5 purchase. Then again, pasting this one here. Stage 5 purchase over stage 4 payment. And this will be payment to purchase rate. And then potentially we can do let's say the overall conversion. So we can take this one here and then stage 5 purchase over the total amount of views that we had. So stage 1 views. And this can be, let's say, the overall conversion rate, if that makes sense. So from funnel stages, let's see, let's try to run this. Okay, so seems to be working. And so now we can check exactly the conversions between the different stages and see how efficient is our funnel. So I see view to cart around 30%, cart to checkout 71%, checkout to pay 81%, payment to purchase actually 92%. So what are some insights that I can give to a potential, sales leader or sales stakeholder? So in my point of view, and again, obviously like these are assumptions, like feel free to even like send me comments with what you think about this stuff, but payment to purchase 92%, it means that we don't have any technical issues for people to actually make a purchase when they made the payment. So that's perfect. Like we don't have any bottlenecks. It's a very good rate. Can we improve this even further? Potentially, we can investigate, but that's to me a very good thing for the funnel. Probably the lowest conversion rate would be view to cart rate. So people are viewing the website, the e-commerce website, and not really going into the cart, which can be expected. So a lot of people are just browsing around without actually putting stuff in the cart. But I guess the challenge would be, can we do something to improve maybe the website experience to increase this rate? Because maybe, the products are not displayed in a correct way, or maybe people are not finding the stuff that they are looking for immediately. So this would be something that I would definitely flag as a point of attention, and potentially giving some recommendation in the same way that I try to explain right now to you. Okay, so that was interesting. And then now what we can do is actually try to compare the different marketing channels, like the source of our traffic. So we can do a funnel by source. So again, I can have my CTE doing with the source funnel as, because we need to clean the data a bit before actually analyzing it. So here I'm going to do everything by traffic source, and then comma here. Let me actually grab, again, I'm trying all the time to grab things from what we have done already. So let me grab this one here, because we're probably going to do something similar. So I don't need the select. Okay, so here I just want to count people. So I'm just going to do views and then cart. And then I think I'm going to be checking the actual purchase. So let me do like this, purchases, again for the last 30 days. So that is perfect. And then in here, I have to definitely remember to do the group by. So group by, and I'm going to do the traffic source. By the way, if I want to check if my city is working fine. So for example, I already see that I have a select statement missing here. I can run the CT itself as a kind of an intermediary step to see, okay, like I'm having what I want, and then now I can keep going with my analysis. So from this CT, what I want to do is select again the traffic source. I'm going to select the views, basically pretty much the stuff that I have in here, cards, and then purchases. And then I'm going to take what we've done before. So just to take the operation that we've done before, and then I'm going to do cards over views, and this would be the cart conversion rate. And then I'm going to do the same for purchases over cards, and this would be the purchase conversion rate. And then potentially I can even do the purchases over cards. Sorry, purchases over views as well. So I can do purchase. So yeah, this we can call it purchase conversion rate, and this one maybe we can call it cart to purchase conversion rate. Okay, I think this one is maybe making more sense. We're gonna select everything from our source funnel CT. So this one will be from source funnel, and then let's see, we can probably order by purchases because these are obviously the stuff that we care about in the sending order. Okay, let's see if this one is fine. Okay, so just to give an idea of what we've done here, we are basically saying, okay, this is the traffic source of people coming to our website. So they're coming from organic, paid ads, email, social. And we see like the number of views, like people actually entering the website and start browsing. So massive number on organic, that's pretty positive, but also on social media. Now, the stuff that we actually care about is not only people coming to the website, but the actual purchases that we have. And so if I expand here, and so if I see the actual conversion rates, I need to see like which channel is performing best. So if I do the cart conversion rate, which would be basically, the people that view the website, which are the people that are adding things on the cart, then I see that, for example, social media is way lower compared to the other traffic sources. And actually email is performing super, super well, like with a 63%. And then purchase conversion, again, I can check these rates as well and be like, okay, again, email seems to performing pretty well. So, and maybe like the cart to purchase, okay, something that potentially, it's giving me some insights, but I can already like see the bigger picture here. So again, what is my suggestion? What would be my suggestion? Like things that I'm seeing from the data insights to the business would be, okay, social media is bringing in a lot of traffic and a lot of views, so that's perfect. But potentially is a bit of a vanity metric that we are seeing here, a bit of a higher number that is not really converting into something useful for the business, which is the actual purchase. Whereas what I see here is that email is bringing in less views, but those views, like those people that are coming in, are actually purchasing stuff, and like the conversion rate is way, way higher. So probably we should, potentially put less attention on social media, because this traffic is not converting very well, but they're actually doubling down on email. So that's a massive insight that I can give to the business, backed up by our data. Okay, so this was pretty interesting. So let's proceed with the next step of this analysis. Now, for example, we can do the time to conversion analysis as well. So how do we do this? I basically want to analyze the time that is spent by people in all the funnel stages. So again, I can probably start from our previous CTE, just again to start with something and save us some time. So this case I'm going to call it maybe user journey, and here I'm going to select the user ID. But in this case, because I'm interested in the timing this time, instead of the count, I'm going to do the min. And instead of the user ID, I want to, in this case, I'm going to do event date. And this would be the view time. And I can do pretty much the same for the other select statements as well. So I'm going to remove the distinct. I'm going to put the event date. This would be the cart time. And this would be the purchase time. Then, okay, we have again, the 30 days rule. The group by, this time we have to do group by user ID. And then here I have to do the having clause, because I'm interested only to see when there has been an actual purchase. So I'm going to do a having, and then I'm going to pretty much use the same logic as in here. So let me paste this one here. So event type purchase, then event 8 end, and then in here I'm gonna add is not null. So this is basically our user journey where we count view time, cart time, and purchase time. Let me remove some extra spaces from here. Okay, let's see if this one is working fine. I think we have some issues. Yeah, there is a missing parenthesis here. Let's see now. Okay, so basically for each of the user ID, we recorded the minimum view time, cart time, and purchase time. So that's perfect when there was an actual purchase. And then from the user journey, so I'm gonna do from user journey. Here we're going to do a select and then count star as, so this would be the converted users. And here potentially we can do the average of the timestamp diff. And here, as suggested by BigQuery, we have to do cart time in our case, comma view time, and then I want everything in minute, and this would be as the average view to cart minutes with the comma, and then probably this we will need to round it. Let's even add a round and round here 2 decimals. And then this one, I'm going to copy paste it. And then we're going to have here purchase time. So this would be purchase and then cart time. So this would be average cart to purchase minutes. And potentially we can do even the overall, total journey minutes. So we can do average total journey minutes, and this would be the purchase time, which is the last bit, and the view time. Okay, we got it. So let's see if this one is working fine. Okay, so we miss a comma, little comma here. Let's run it again. And basically what I'm seeing here is I'm just trying to see like the time that people spend on average in like going through the funnel. So we converted 700 people, and then view to cart would be 11 minutes. So from the people viewing the products and adding to cart. So I think that's I think is realistic. Cart to purchase 13 minutes. So I think that is okay. I'm not seeing like anything very, very weird. And like the total journey on average takes 24 minutes. So again, we can potentially say, okay, do we actually expect people to spend like 24 minutes on average to do the whole journey? Like, can we make this faster? That's probably like another, question or insight that I would give to the business. For sure, like I'm not seeing like crazy numbers here, like, hours for specific journey, or even like a very small amount of time, which might indicate, maybe we have bots on the website. So nothing like a red flag, but something that again, I can talk to someone in the business to understand, okay, is this expected? Is this something that we should check, and so on? Okay, so if this was clear, I think we can do one more step in this analysis and actually look at the revenue in the funnel. So we can do a bit of a revenue funnel analysis. So as always, I think I'm gonna get at least this part of the query that we can start with. So let me do this. This one I'm gonna call it funnel revenue. We don't need the user ID. And in this case, I'm going to do a count. And then in here, I'm gonna take distinct. And then I'm gonna put the user ID as we had before. And this would be total visitors. Let me remove this one. And actually, I can copy this one down. And I'm going to do purchase. And in here, I'm gonna do total buyers, and then I'm gonna take again this line, and now I'm gonna calculate the total revenue that we made. So I'm gonna do a sum. When the event type is purchase, I'm gonna take amount, and this would be the total revenue. And also I'm going to count our orders. So I'm gonna do a count. When event type is purchase, I'm gonna put a 1, and this would be the total orders. And then from our funnel revenue, I think I need to add the bracket. So from the funnel revenue, what I'm going to select in here is basically some of the stuff that I calculated before. So I'm going to take total visitors, I'm going to take total buyers, I'm going to take total orders, I can take total revenue again, and then I can do also total revenue over total orders, which is definitely like a bit of a finance KPI, and I'm going to call this average order value. And then if I paste this, I can even do total revenue over total buyers. And so this would be revenue buyer. It's another finance metric, and potentially also the revenue per visitor. So I'm going to do revenue over total visitors and then revenue per visitor. Okay, that's a interesting one that we have in here. So let me try to run it. Okay, I didn't use the round, so we have a lot of decimal places here, but for now we don't really mind. Now I guess the stuff, again, the insight that I can give to a business is by looking at the average order value. And so when we look at the average order value, I can also compare it with the CAC, which would be customer acquisition cost. So again, let me give you an example. For example, if the business uses paid ads, which is a traffic source, so definitely using it. If let's say that to acquire a customer using the paid ads, let's say that it costs $50. So if we spend $50, we get one customer. Now, if the average order value is 107, it means that actually we are, doing pretty well in terms of like final profit, because we get 107 on average for the order value, and then we spend only 50 to actually get the customers in. So that's obviously a positive thing. But on the opposite, it can be the case where we spend maybe $150 to bring a customer in from paid ads, but then the average order value is 107. So basically, we are at a loss. And so we can really understand, the efficiency of our marketing paid efforts with this insight that I showed you with this SQL query. And so probably the end result of this, I could, collect these insights that I just found out with these SQL queries and potentially compile a bit of a document to put all these things together. And so I actually went ahead and potentially, brought together some of the stuff that we discovered. And so these are actually like 3 different messages to 3 different stakeholders. So for example, I could go to the UX and website optimization team and be like, okay, don't touch the checkout flow because that is working very well. We have more than, that from checkout to purchase, more than 80% conversion. So that's perfect. It's working very well. On marketing, I could say, okay, stop over investing in social for sales, because we have seen that, maybe the action would be to shift the budget to try to get leads and capture emails instead, because emails are working pretty well. And that's also, again, the other recommendation, double down on email marketing, which has a way stronger, conversion rather than the social media. And then, for financial and revenue, again, I could potentially go to the marketing team, but also to the finance team to make sure they understand, okay, like the, average order value, customer acquisition cost, are we making money with our marketing efforts or not? So obviously this is like a draft text of recommendation. I can bring this into an email to stakeholders. I can bring this into a bit of a slide, a bit, better with some charts as well. But that just to give you an idea of, we started with SQL queries with some queries wrote in BigQuery. And then we are ending up with, some actual final recommendation, some practical stuff that I'm going to tell to the business, which is actually useful for people to be aware of. And there you have it. This is an end-to-end SQL project that you can definitely replicate to add to your data analytics portfolio. Make sure to check the video description for all the materials that we used in this project. And in case you are interested in entering a career in data analytics and you want me to support you on a one-on-one basis until you actually land a job offer, then make sure to check my Analytics and Automation Academy. The applications are still open right now, so definitely apply, and then I will see if you are a good fit. As always, if you found at least one useful information in this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel so that I can help you even further in the next videos. I will also leave here in the screen some other tutorials that I made with SQL, but also with Python, so make sure to check them out if you want some extra materials. And well, enjoy the rest of your day. Ciao for now, and see you in the next one.